about you niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Media popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.
Hey everybody, it's Brandon Collins.
Guys, and it's Justin Brown.
And we were meeting popcorn niggas spoiling movies.
That's right. You okay, Brandon?
Well, you usually say some of that.
Actually, I usually don't.
Well, we got a great guest. I've known this gentleman for a long time. Used to do college humor videos together. Jermaine Fowler, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. It's good seeing you again.
Good seeing you too, man. It's been a long time. I think the last time I saw you, you did our Comedy Outliers show.
Yeah, in New York.
You had just filmed. I think you did the pilot with Whoopi.
Right, that was
a while ago.
That was 6 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You've been doing a lot, man. How's everything going?
Everything's good, man. Just trying to. I don't know. I enjoy what I do, so I'm just having a good time.
Yeah. How are you holding up with like COVID and all that stuff?
How are you holding up with COVID and all that stuff?
I'm losing my mind, man. I got this beard. I'm wearing Levi's clothes.
You shouldn't be losing your mind. That shouldn't be. It shouldn't get that bad. But I hear you though. Like I guess with me, I got 2 kids, so that helps. You know.
I mean, but that also will help you lose your mind when you're stuck in the house with kids.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I'd rather be with a bunch of kids and a bunch of grown ass adults who just as neurotic and
ridiculous children.
Yeah, kids don't know what the fuck's going on. They happy as hell. I'd rather be around that than a bunch of adults who make me stressed out about the shit too. You know what I'm saying?
How old are your kids?
They 3 and 1 years old next month.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, I got a 2-year-old. Well, he'll be 2 on the 6th. So
yeah. Where you live? You live in Brooklyn?
No, yeah, Astoria.
Astoria?
Yeah, we're both in Astoria.
Yeah.
Where yeah, man. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I mean, listen, parenting ain't easy, but I mean, if I had to choose, I'd rather be with my kids than my adult family members who refuse to wear masks and wash their hands and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true.
You can control a kid. I can control a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the boss with my kids. I'd rather that.
Now, for Come to America, did you have to do any reshoots under COVID, or was everything locked in before?
We had to do reshoots, and the stuff we reshot were just things that I think made the movie even better. So I'm very happy about that. We didn't redo many scenes. We just sort of how do you say?
Like added tags and stuff like that, or
more than that, just expanded on a couple things that were important to the story. Mostly that.
Got it. And wait, did you guys have to follow like specific? I imagine specific like safety precautions, all that stuff. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, we before we did the reshoots, we got a bunch of COVID tests, and we got on set. Everybody was wearing white hazmat suits, and it was like we were on, you watch X-Files, and after some weird shit goes down, like the hazmat guys show up, and it was like that. But that was the safest I've ever felt on set, ever.
Nice.
Ever.
Wow.
Ever. I've never felt more safe on set. That was great. I prefer that. It just tells you how dirty people were before. So I felt real safe on that set, man.
Okay, dope. I mean, in regards to the first Coming to America, which is what we're talking about today, like what was like your first time seeing this movie? How did it impact you?
Hold on, before we get there, Brandon, 1 second. Obviously, we got to get it out of the way. What was it like being on set with fucking comedy royalty? I mean,
oh, you mean Tracy Morgan? Yeah,
yeah. It's Tracy Morgan, man. The people need to know about Tracy, even though I love
Tracy. Nah, like, you mean Eddie, man? I know what you mean. Like, Eddie was what can you say? Like, I can't. People do ask me all the time, "What's Eddie like?" and all this stuff, and I'm like, "What was it like being around him?" And I'm like, you ever
person?
It's like being around. It's like being around your hero, man. It's like being around Batman. like, like a real life superhero for me. It's like being around a superhero, man. Right, for me, Eddie still is my idol. So being on set with him, and also seeing that a dude is the sharpest nigga I've ever seen, and how enthusiastic and intuitive he is about everything. He's the smartest dude I've ever met, and just has this mind for comedy that is just unrivaled, man. And it was cool that also like we're kind of into the same stuff as far as like martial arts goes, and Bruce Lee and Pryor, and it was pretty cool to see how down to earth he was. And I mean, his kids are amazing too. Like he has some very talented kids who work their asses off as well, and they're just so cool. That was great, man. I tell people, they say don't meet your heroes, but meeting Eddie Murphy was just more than I could ask for, man. He was just perfect to be around.
Now, I knew Justin was going to ask about working with Eddie, but I want to know what it was like working with Wesley. Because Eddie, I mean, obviously is in the Mount Rushmore, but then Wesley, you can't discount how much he's done for Black actors and Black cinema.
Listen, let's go through what Wesley has done and the range he's brought to everything. He's Major League, White Man Can't Jump,
Tu Wong Fu,
Money Train. What do you say?
Tu Wong Fu.
Tu Wong Fu.
No, you're right.
I asked him about Tu Wong Fu, and because like I was like, yo, being a brother, back in those days, what was it like? Did you get a lot of pushback and all that shit? And he was like, nah. And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, he's Wesley Snipes. Who's gonna talk shit about Wesley? You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. But also like he takes his job very seriously, and he was in character the entire movie, and his character was fucking frightening as hell. But he was a character. But the dude, he just steals scenes, and it was magnificent to watch him in his whole his zone. Everybody was in their zone during this movie. They wanted to be good, and Wesley was definitely a pleasure to be around, man. Done so much, opened so many doors, and I'm just man. I even what's it called? Dolomite. Seeing him in Dolomite in a comedy with Eddie was like, wow, like why haven't these two done more movies before?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were so perfect, the dynamic is perfect. So I love to see Wesley in more shit, man. Just put Wesley in everything. Just everything from now on.
I agree.
It was great, man. I'm glad you asked that.
Dope, man. And in regards going back to the original Coming to America, like what was your experience watching that for the first time?
I was born when the first one came out, like 88. And then I wasn't old enough to watch it ever. So I had to sneak and watch it. And I was a little boy when I first saw it, and VHS tape blew me away. Again, I used to just record the barbershop scene with Clarence in them, and put it on my voicemail, my answer machine, and just I just wanted to share what made me laugh so much, and I wanted to just share it with the world. And I would just go to school, repeat everything from the movie. I watched that movie countless times, and it's one of those movies you can put on at any time of the day. Doesn't matter. You can put it on, anytime you want. It's the perfect movie to put on. So yeah, man.
Absolutely, man. I watched it the other day, and I'm like, I texted Justin. I'm like, it's criminal how funny this movie still holds up. There's no like time specific jokes that are like, this is only for the 80s, except for maybe the Soul Glow, but even then it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. They played it so straight. so real. Like that, it's easy for a comedy to go off the rails and just turn into an aloof sort of like film, and it can, but when you can round it and have the actors truly play the situations and like let the story play out and let the comedy be the comedy and let the stakes and the peril really connect with the audience, like that movie is the perfect formula for anyone who wants to do like the perfect It's more than a romantic comedy. It's more than just like, it's so many things. It's like the perfect fairy tale. You know, you can give that movie to a bunch of white actors and with the same plot and, you know, take out the Africa stuff, but
that'd be a weird one.
yeah, it would still play. And that was the cool thing about Eddie. That was Eddie was doing, like, you know, Beverly Hills Cop. They that was supposed to be Sylvester Stallone's movie, and then they cast Eddie and they wanted to joke it up, and Eddie was like, nah, you give me the same shit Sylvester does, and I'm gonna play it the way I want them to be just as intimidated by me as they would with Sylvester. And that's what I think, you know, makes comedy so good, is if they can just ground the situation and let it sort of breathe and connect with the people it's supposed to connect with. So I think that movie is just the perfect film, man. Top 3.
I think it's also because like Coming to America is just so quotable, and and those quotes are just timeless. Like I was sitting there watching it with my wife yesterday, and is like, what Joe Louis? I said Frank. How old Joe Louis? He said, Joe Louis is 137 years old. My wife looked at me and said, is that why you keep on saying 137 for everything? I said, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly why. Everything is 137 just because of that movie. And then just the barbershop scene, and like, you're right. Like those scenes are so dynamic. And they may just be 3 minutes, but those are the best 3 minutes of your life once you enter that barbershop.
Those scenes are so manic and perfect. And it's pure madness, because the way they edit it, Clarence is talking about this one thing, and then somebody corrects him and makes him look stupid. And the next cut, he's looking right at Akeem like, what you here for, boy? Like, it's just like he just changed the subject so quick. And everything about that scene
which is hilarious. First, he does a quick "fuck you," and then "what you want, boy?"
Yeah, like nothing connects to the thing that, like, it's just all, it's barbershop. It's just all manic, like fucking just energy and like, man, it's so many things. You can break that movie down to, and it's still perfect, man. Like I just love everything about it, and there's always something new about it that when you watch it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, like I never peeped. John Amos was actually reading the McDonald's manual at one point, and then like someone comes back. Louis Anderson comes back. He's like, "Oh, someone's here for you," and he's like, "They're not from McDonald's."
Yeah. It's perfect, man. And that could have, the tone is perfect. Like, there could have easily been some comedian or an actor who just overdoes the line to make the line funny, but no, he plays it so straight.
Yeah, I mean, even when he plays the crazy characters, like when Eddie is Randy Watson, it's one of the funniest performances of all time, because he's like, "Oh, y'all look so lovely tonight."
He's trying to, like, you stand up, like, like, every time a comic, we've all been there, like we're trying to get an audience back from the dead, and we're bombing so hard. And I've been in shows where like a comic is bombing so hard they don't even know they're bombing, and it makes it even more cringeworthy. And so that's what Randy is like. No one wants to be there. No one wants to see him. Nobody wants to see him perform, and he thinks they do. And so, but he's still giving like the R&B charm to it. You know, he's like, "Feels so lovely to be here," and that's something Prince says. That's something like a megastar would say. He's just like in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's the perfect scene. Every scene's perfect. Every scene's perfect.
Real quick, I want to go back to bombing as a stand-up, because Jermaine was at one of my bombs. It was at Broken Comedy in Brooklyn, and you were in the Mesh. We're hosting together, and I went up. I did my set, but like I was bombing. I was eating a dick, and then I said something about like, "Oh, Jermaine and the Mesh, when they were up here, they were talking about being on the train." You and the Mesh went back up and were like, "Yeah, we never talked about being on a train." Brandon just made that up so he could do that joke, and I was like, "God damn!" It was like, "Bartender, just give me 2 shots."
Yo, I miss New York so much when it comes. Like, listen, dude. So I miss Kevin so much, man. Like bombing is what you're like. It's something a comic just is. Look, we're all supposed to do good. We're all like supposed to do well on stage, but nothing to me is better than watching a comedian bomb. You'll know how funny somebody is by watching them bomb.
Oh, Jermaine, you'll appreciate the story. Justin and I used to run Grit stand-up show.
Oh yeah.
And Kevin was bombing, And then he looks around the small audience we had. My mom was in the audience, and Kevin was always fucking with me because I always teased him on College Humor sets because he was always looking for a Wi-Fi. And so he was like, "I'm gonna give Brandon back." He's like, "Hey, Brandon's mom, what size is Brandon's booty hole? Is it a dime size? Is it a nickel?" Because he was just
like a silver dollar.
He's like, "I'm bombing, so who gives a fuck?" And I was like, "Oh god."
There was one time Kevin. Imagine I got Kevin's cutout right here in my house right now.
Shout out to Kevin Barnett, man.
Yeah, Barnett, man. He's a legendary bomber. He's like every generation has the bomber. Like I think for Patrice and them, it was probably Burr. You know, I think for Hannibal and what's after that? Hannibal and Eric Andre. Like you could probably ask them who was the best bomber in their like generation. But I think our class was Kevin. One night, me and Kevin, it's a legendary show we did at Baltimore, where the whole weekend, I was doing all right. Kevin was struggling, and Kevin, mind you, Kevin is just a great writer. It's just that I think people were expecting something else to come out of this 6'5" muscular Jamaican dude.
Yep.
When he's talking about like dragons and shit, niggas just taking it back. And so at one time, Kevin was doing his joke, and this brother from Baltimore yelled out, "Oh, nigga, we ain't trying to hear your life story, man." So the first thing Kevin says was, he says that on stage. And it was like, at one point, like I knew how Kevin's my favorite comedian, like my favorite comic. So I knew how funny he was, but I knew how funny he could be when he was bombing, because it just made me so happy to watch him struggle. And then because he was a handsome guy, he was gonna fuck somebody that night anyway, so it didn't matter. It didn't matter to Kevin. And so yeah, man, that nigga was like the greatest bomber I've ever seen in my life, ever. So, and we've all bombed. I bomb a lot. I bomb probably more than I do well. I don't give a shit, but that is what it is, man. Pryor bombed probably more. He did well too. Like you just kind of gotta bomb, man. It just is what it is.
I think one of my favorite bomb stories of mine was, you know, the show when I was hosting, and like just in between, just started eating dicks. Just doing so bad.
And I mean, you started off with a healthy bowl.
Yeah.
He didn't have any momentum, Jermaine. Don't let him fool you.
Okay. I came in just hot. And it went down so quick. And then I came back out in between comics. I said, I know I'm the last motherfuckers y'all want to see right now. And then that's what kind of got him back for a second. And I
for a second.
For a second. I got him for a second.
He got a chuckle.
That's all that matters.
Hey, that counts, man. That's what we're there for, you know. I fucking love it, man.
So I mean, you know, obviously we'll talk a little bit more about the movie, but like stand up, are you looking to get back into that, or are you just going to be doing acting at this point?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. Someone asked me that earlier today. I got into stand up because I wanted to act first and foremost. I just like Eddie, Pryor, and Martin, you know, wanted to do that. Mike Epps, you know, I wanted to get into acting. And then I've been doing stand-up for about 15 years, man. 15 years since I was about 17 years old. I love it. It's always going to be embedded in me. I think acting and stand-up complement each other so well. They both make me confident on stage, off stage, on set, offset, whatever. But right now I'm going to focus on doing one more comedy concert film. And then I'm going to just focus on getting the movies that I want made. However, there will be times when I'm inspired to get on stage where like I won't run away from that. Like I'm not going to not do stand up. I'm just going to like, you know, there's just such a need to be on stage when you have that. It's like it's addictive, man. Like I love doing it. It's the one thing I can control. It's the one thing I don't need anybody to tell me to green light or anything like that. It's something, it's mine, you know. So that power, and it's a drug, man. I love it. So I won't leave stand up, but there will be a focus on acting that I think that I'm just more passionate about at the moment. So I'll just do that.
Fair. I feel that. And and also like right now with COVID and everything like that, you know, you literally can't
I was about to say,
Either right
I was
now.
about to say, any pure stand-up comedian right now is probably pissed the fuck off.
Yeah.
So mad. They're like, man, I should have fucking started writing, nigga. Shit. Like, if this like financially, where the fuck we gonna do? You know? So Bill Burr told me in DC when I first started, write, do podcasts. What else? Blog, whatever. This is like 2007, 6. He said blog. He said, don't just do stand-up, you know,
Yep.
find other things to do. And I listened to him. I literally I listen to everybody, like, you know, any those dudes I listened to. Patrice, Bill, all those guys I had to open like I listened to everything they had to say. And it worked out. Like I've always felt like with stand-up, I love stand-up. I love stand-ups. I love everybody I came up with to death. Like I just appreciate them so much. I just know that it's for me, there's just like uh I can act. I can act. I want to act.
Yeah.
Why not act? You know? Also, how many stand-ups? Seinfeld, the worst actor of all time, has acted. And the greatest TV show like of all time. Like, you know, like it's at one point you just gotta do it, man. And if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. But it's for me.
Yeah, man. What was it like, you know, getting the call that you were going to be in Coming to America, the sequel to this film that clearly had an influence on all three of us in our comedy sensibilities and everything?
It was I'm such a nostalgic dude. I'm so like I worked my ass off, man, and I just felt like I deserved it. You know, I felt extremely grateful. But more than that, I was like, that means Eddie saw my tape and liked it. That was the
Yeah.
coolest shit. That to me meant more than everything. Was like, yeah, you know, that Eddie. When I heard Eddie liked the tape, I was like, yeah, yes, yes, that's all I. That's great, you know. So that meant a lot to me, and right then and there, I just felt comfortable. Like I was just ready to go. I was just ready to perform. Um, there were no nerves. You know, it's funny, like when you get on set full of those legends and vets and shit, like try to like at times, sometimes not this set, but like sometimes they try to like size you up, like look at this little nigga, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about. You've been to a stand-up show and like it's always the older comic who it's just bitter as shit. And
Yeah, we know you're talking about Kevin Brennan. It's okay.
Kevin will tell you too. I love Kevin's funny as shit, but I didn't really get that from them. I think we were all there for one reason. And it was a very universal reason. Like we just wanted to fucking make a great movie and really have this movie live up to his expectations. The first one means so much to us individually, every single one of us, from the actors to Crafty, like everybody on set has a connection to that movie. So we were all. We were all there for one reason. So that was beautiful, first and foremost. So it was a warm set, man. We were having a good time. You know, yeah, it was great, man. So that call, that was a beautiful call, man. That was an awesome call. I was very thankful for that fucking call. Very thankful.
You mentioned the barbershop scene in the original Coming to America. Is that your favorite scene in the movie, or is there another scene that?
I mean, it's definitely that. Like, it's definitely that scene. I'm so because if you look at my stand up, I'm into act outs. I love act outs. I love characters. I love it. I love getting into a character on stage. And like I said earlier, the way they edited that scene was just how I do my act outs on stage. It's just like boom, 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 and you know, it's just the way I think scenes like that should be shot and should be edited. Weird shit, but it was just done so perfectly, and I watch it all the time and see little nuances and details I've missed before. Like that other joke I said earlier about about the way he didn't pay any mind to Arsenio and just bulldozed right to the next line with Akeem. Like it's
Yeah.
everything about that scene is just but again, like you got the scenes in Africa which set up the movie so well. Bark Like a Dog, it just sets up the movie so well. Him looking at the camera, perfect. John James
James
Earl
Earl
Jones,
yeah.
fuck, man, everything, man, the fucking McDowell scenes with Sam Jackson.
Yeah,
You can't go wrong with any scene. You can't go wrong with any scene, man. I choose that because that was just the one that stuck with me when I was a kid.
You know, I feel like the barbershop scene is probably my favorite scenes as well, but it also just seems so authentic. It seems so authentic because like it feels like it's almost like when you have like there's a party at your house when I was like a little kid and I go into the kitchen, I'm trying to get some food and my dad is in there with uncles and shit like that. And they're all holding shop, you know, talking bullshit. And you're just standing there with a plate in my hand, trying to get some chicken or whatever. And they're just going off by each other. And then all of a sudden I know it's like, what do you want?
You're Akeem in that situation, right?
Exactly. It's like, what do you want? It's like that's why it feels so just authentic because like I've seen that happen and it's just like so authentically just black. And that's the thing that's like that makes it so real for me.
It's a great analogy. Also, there's a Jew in it, and that is, you know what I mean? But again, he fits so well at like Kunta Kinte, racist as fuck. And it makes you like because it's a barbershop, like all that goes out of the window, all that political correctness goes out of the window. Like that Jewish dude just acclimated to black culture so much that he goes for it, it kills, and he's like, like it's just.
See, for me, it's the you know the scene with Reverend Brown and Randy Watson. I mean, because I think about my comedy sensibility and like things that I just naturally do. I always do like an old man, like, oh yeah. Like, there's a glow out there somewhere. Wow. I'm like, man, I was influenced by the character in this movie.
Disgusting, man. It's just so like that dude. I'm like, it's so nasty and hilarious at the same. His hair is all, you know, stringy.
Like Frederick Douglass, and he smells like Old Spice.
You know? Man. Man, you can't go wrong with any scene. It's weird because like talking about a scene from Coming to America is like talking about your top 5 favorite rappers, man. Everybody gonna argue about it. Everybody gonna have their own opinion. You know, I'll say Biggie. Some motherfucker be like, "It's Tupac, nigga." I'm like, we both right, nigga. Why we? You know, but
I gotta say, the rewatching this made me reappreciate John Amos, because he's so fucking funny in this movie. Like when they have that scene where Eddie Murphy's talking to him about the football game, and he's like, but he doesn't quite understand how the game works, and then John Amos is just like, "I'm gonna tell you this one time, and one time only, son. If you want to stay here, you gotta stay up the track."
And a very serious, you know,
it's so great.
What's going to make you appreciate John Amos even more is, you know, when I got to speak to him off set, the coolest dude I've ever met. He lives in Denver, Colorado, loving his life. That dude got good times after a stand-up comedy audition.
Good.
He did stand-up.
Wait, what?
You didn't know John Amos did stand-up at
No.
Cafe Noir?
That.
Wow.
Cafe Noir. Yeah. See how that's how I said that. I looked at him and it made me love him even more. I'm like, yo, you're the coolest nigga in the world, man. John Amos is the underappreciated, man. That dude did stand-up and got the classic TV show after that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's incredible, man. That's
incredible, magnificent.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many like people in this movie that like had such longevity, like Arsenio, obviously Eddie, James Earl Jones, Samuel Jackson as the robber who's just like shooting up the ceiling. Just like we keep getting hit by the dude.
Sam Jackson played so many old. Sam Jackson played so many old dudes before he was old. Do you know that?
Yeah, right.
It was his messed up hair.
Yeah, he was always a dude that's just down on his luck. Like
but he was only 25. I'm joking. I know, but he wasn't that old.
Yeah, man. I mean, what is like the thing you're most excited for audiences to see with Coming to America?
Expansion, just the expansion. They really opened up the world of Zamunda, man. They opened it up, and I'm excited to see how people react to just the world they built, the mythology, all of it. I think people are gonna really be into that, and I also think people are just gonna enjoy feeling just laughing again. Is that fair? I think that fuck everything else. Like I think people just are gonna want to like. When I watched it, I felt the real genuine warmth, like and a much needed, like, oh yeah, that felt good to see Eddie reprise specific characters and remember where I was when I was a kid when I first saw the motherfuckers. And yeah, I think people are gonna feel good when they see it, man. That's I think this movie is gonna come out at the right time.
But at the same time, and obviously don't divulge anything about the film. It's just like, how those dudes in the barbershop still alive?
Funniest
They're
part.
like 1,000 years old.
That's the funniest part. They're ageless. Like
Yeah.
if like the Muppets from the white Muppets from Sesame Street,
Yeah.
who heckle and shit. Those are our Muppets. You know what I mean? Like they don't have an expiration date. Like they like because you can't. They represent so much more than just those characters. They represent like culture, like our culture.
Yep.
You know, and that just can't die. So I feel like I'm glad they're still there. They're like griots, man. They're like sages, you know, like, but the cool thing about them, without giving anything away, they imagine this. They've also lived from 88, way before 88, but since the movie came out, 88 till now. So the conversations they're having are going to fucking be like, you're gonna love the conversations they're having.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're like time capsules.
Okay, yeah,
they're like time capsules.
Okay, got you.
Oh no!
Without giving anything away. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now obviously, this is not going to be released in theaters, or is it like?
No, it'll be streaming, but I hope Amazon is gonna buy out a couple theaters for some folks, man. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, like that's, and like once I heard it, it was happening, I was just like, oh yeah, this is something like I want to see on the big screen. This is like, this is my childhood. Everything that I love coming back together. It's just like I would, and like, how does that feel for you? Like, not being able to see it at the theater, but at the same time, you still, at least your work's still being seen. Like, how does that feel for you? Because I know a lot of actors are going through this right now.
We talked to Derek Gaines about, King of Staten Island and stuff like that, and that being released.
I love Derek because Derek has such bad luck sometimes. Yeah, real talk. Derek is the funniest. When he's sad, it's the funniest shit. I'm gonna text him later. I didn't even. I love talking to him because I'll be like, "How you doing, man?" He goes, "I'm good." Shot a movie. I'm like, "Oh, congratulations!" But it ain't coming out. I'm like, "What the fuck you talking?" Like, that's Derek. He's the most successful. Like, he's so successful, but he'll also find a thing to like nitpick about. That nigga's great, man. I'm so proud of him, and he's been funny forever, man. I'm happy he's getting his shit. I think for me, like I can't control that. Like I can't control what happens to the movie afterwards. I just can't. I can't complain about it. Like not up to me. It's out of my hands. All I can do is just say I murdered it. I did a great job. I was respectful to the crew and the cast, and I'll work again. I'll do something else. But the fact that it is coming out on streamers, I think it's going to reach a lot of people's homes, which is awesome. I think because we're still going to be on lockdown, hopefully not too long, people can enjoy it, like, and not worry about getting sick or getting other people sick. There's some pluses to it. Yes, my dream was to always have a movie to premiere, in a theater where people eating popcorn, and just having a good time. And that popcorn smell is something I've always wanted to, be around when a movie was, I miss the theater. I miss the movie theaters, but I can't control that, man. I really can't. But I think this is happening for a reason. I think this movie is coming out the way it's coming out for a reason, and I gotta just go with the flow. I can't fight that.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're really excited about it. Justin, break down our rating system for Coming to America, the original.
All right, so we rate movies bags of popcorn. We got small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. Now, if a movie doesn't deserve any popcorn, we throw it into the dog shit pile. But once again, I don't think we're going to need to use that for this one. So either way, we sat down and we watched Coming to America, the classic. you know, obviously Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James Earl Jones, John Amos. I mean, the list. I mean, and Eddie Murphy playing all of those characters, Arsenio playing those different characters. This is like, well, what say you, Jermaine?
Did you know Eddie also played John Amos's character? No, I'm joking. You want me to break down my rating system for it?
Oh,
Well,
no,
what
you
would
just
you
give your
rate?
rating for the movie.
For Coming to America?
Yep. I mean,
Dude,
yeah. We
I said it was top 3. Top 3 is, you know how many movies have been out? Billions.
movies there are.
It's the perfect film. There's nothing wrong with it. It's, to me, it's 10 out of 10, but it's one of those movies that don't need a rating. Like if you try to rate it, it's like, you know, like it's like above like rating, you know what I mean? Like it's just so, it's timeless, man. There's some movies you just don't need to, you know, but I get it. I would give it a 10 out of 10, man. 11 out of 10. I give it 11 out of 10.
So XXL. Got it.
Go.
I give it the same thing, man. It's a classic. It's, for me, it's I mean, I have like the VHS of this and the VHS of Eddie Murphy SNL, right? Like and I don't have a VCR. It's just because it's had such an impact on my life. And just watching this movie again, I couldn't stop smiling. I was just like enjoying every second of it.
They're my favorite movies. Like, you know, you got so many of them, but like they're just movies that beyond like that. Like, you know, like it's just you have a connect, like they're movies you just connected to. And they're more than movies. Like they're just more than that. Like they're like, you ever wonder why like people at Comic-Con get dressed up to like, you know what I mean? It's for that reason. Like those movies have this connection to them, and they're also characters too. But there's a connection they have with these films that, you know, there should be a Comic-Con for Coming to America. That's what I'm trying to say. There should be a festival for Coming. That should be a Coming to America festival. That'd be
front.
That would be the coolest shit. Like it should be a parade, and it should be African themed, Zamundan themed, and everyone should dress up as their favorite. Oh, yo, that's fucking dope. Why don't we do that?
You know what's funny? You said that last year, right before New York shut down, I had gotten tickets for an event in Queens that was like going to replicate Zamunda and have like a Coming to America screening, and it got canceled because it was like right when like De Blasio and everyone was like, "Hey, we gotta like things gotta shut down." It's actually crazy you said that.
I would love to attend that. Let me know the next one.
Yeah, I'd fucking go in a second. I'm a little mad that you didn't even tell me about that shit.
Well, I mean, you know, I fuck with you when we record the podcast, but
fuck you, nigga.
what's your rating?
Yes, this is an XL. This is an XL. I mean, like, there's only 2 movies I actually own on Blu-ray, and it's this and Enter the Dragon. Like that's it. Like these are my movies, my favorite comedy film of all time. I mean, if somebody tells me for whatever reason they've been living under a rock, like my nephew is just like, "Oh, I haven't seen that." Like, what? Sit down right now. Like, you have to watch Coming to America just so I can see the joy in his eyes. I can't wait till my son gets old enough so I can show it to him. Like, that's how excited I am about this film. And it's like every time I watch it, it's like you said, you discover new things. It's funnier and funnier every single time.
Now, this movie isn't on that caliber, the one I'm about to mention. But my neighbor, he's this kid who loves ninjas, just loves ninjas. And I said, he's like 7 years old. And I was like, word? You ever seen this movie called Three Ninjas?
Oh, God.
Oh. And he went, no. And I'm like, dude, when you get home, because he watches like, there's a ninja cartoon for kids on Netflix. A lot of ninja stuff out right now, like Ninjago and Lego movie, all that stuff. And I was like,
Hello Ninja, the one on that.
Hello Ninja, he watches that. Yeah.
My son watched that shit too.
Yeah. I told him, dude, I told this kid, I was like, man, all this stuff is cute. The stuff you watch is okay. It's all right. But you got to sit back and watch Three Ninjas. And he put it off. He kept putting it off. And he finally watched it a couple days ago. And I saw him last night. And I was like, how you like the movie? He goes, I loved it. And his dad said he watched it like 45 times. He loves the jokes. And I'm like, dude, so sharing movies with your kids, I think is so important, man. But
Yeah.
when they can enjoy it, like if they like the same movies as you, even better. Like I don't know how I would take it if I watched Terminator 2 with my son and he went, I'd punch him in the face. I'd be like, you know, like I would like, I don't know if I'd disown him. I have no idea, but I think sharing movies with your kids and connecting with them to get like is so important and so cool, man. So I'm glad you said that too.
Yeah, this is that one, and like you said, like if my son decided like I don't like coming to America.
Oh, that's
it's
a problem.
like, well, I guess you got to go somewhere else. I don't know if I can have you around here anymore.
Yikes! I'm sorry you said that, kid.
This is a ticket to Baghdad. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. But I understand. Like, man, that movie is something you definitely want to share with somebody, man, because it makes you feel so like.
Yeah.
Makes you feel something, man. You just want to share that with other people.
Absolutely. Was there anything that you learned making the sequel about the original that you didn't know before, as like just as a fan?
I didn't know. A lot of Easter eggs in there. Like the original crown was on set. Eddie's crown was there from the original movie. A lot of Easter eggs I think people are going to enjoy. Man, is there anything I didn't know? No. You know, it's funny because like Sherry, Miss Headley, Lisa in the film, she really prepped us. She's so sweet. Like she you know, she and Arsenio would tell us like stories about the original set, and it was just so cool. And it was really just stuff that didn't make the movie, like them like, you know, getting to know each other and hanging out on set, like was the stuff I was so interested in. Because it's such a mega cast. Like it was like an unheard, like once in a lifetime cast, except for now it's twice in a lifetime cast.
Yeah.
But I think those stories were the ones that I was more like sort of happy to hear, you know. Yeah, I don't know. It's not, I can't think of anything right now. I can't think of anything.
Okay, man. Jermaine, it's been a pleasure to have you on to talk about Coming to America, talk about your work in the sequel. Please tell the people how they can follow you and how to find Coming to America on Amazon Prime.
Word. Well, I guess you can find me on Instagram until I delete it. Deleted my Twitter. I don't like Twitter.
What was up with you only following Ernie Hudson for a minute?
It was because he won. I like every movie he's been in, like from like Ghostbusters to like Congo, and when he
even the substitute.
Yeah, substitute, everything he's been in. Like, I like every movie. It's so like it's like he's just Ernie Hudson. And so when I saw he had Twitter, I was like, I'm following Ernie. So I just followed Ernie. There was nothing to it, but just I liked Ernie. Ernie's cool. Why not? Everybody should be following Ernie Hudson.
Okay. All right. So people can follow you on Instagram?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
I don't give a shit. Like you know, like I'm about to delete that too. I don't like social media, dog. I think it's so dumb.
Yeah.
But no, you know, I think if you want to get in contact with me, you hit me up on Instagram at Jermaine Fowler. And you can watch Coming to America on Amazon March 5th on Amazon Prime. And you know, if I'm not on Instagram by the time you see this message, my sister has an Instagram. It's her name is Yashika. It's y.iman on Instagram, and she is she's in the military. She's serving the country. She was just stationed at the White House recently, and she's a badass woman. You know, I think y'all should follow her. She's way more interesting than me.
There you go.
All right. Justin, how can people follow you, man?
Guys, you can follow me at J Brown Did It on Twitter and Instagram. Brandon?
You guys can follow me at American Collins, AmericanCollins.com. You can follow the show, Medium P Podcast, on all social media platforms. And all things Medium Popcorn can be found at MediumPopcorn.com. Justin, if you want to support the show financially, what can they do?
Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have tons of content. We have the rant. We have What Am I Watching? We have the Zoom movie nights and the extra horror films that we do every month, which is a bane to our existence. But If you're feeling extra froggy, take yourself to tpublic.com/medium popcorn. We have tons of swag on there. And tell us if you love us, you hate us, or you just want to shout obscenities at us at 347-508-0978.
Absolutely. Jermaine, thank you so much, man, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Anytime, man. I appreciate you having me.
And congratulations with all the success
absolutely.
and continued success as well, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot, man. Thanks for having me, man. Y'all awesome. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
brother. Have a good day.
Have a good night, bro.